Some of the best actors in Oakland County are close to home right here in Greater West Bloomfield. And soon they will take the stage at West Bloomfield High School to bring you a classic stage play right here in your hometown. Bye Bye Birdie is coming to West Bloomfield High School on April 24th through the 26th. A cornucopia of catchy tunes, comedy, and romance all packed into one play. Joining me with a preview is Caitlin Williams and Ezra Shear, two of the Lakers' top theatrical superstars, joining us on the Splash Live to preview the big show. Thank you both for coming on the show today.
Of course.
Glad to have you both on. Caitlin, I want to start with you because you've been involved in the theater program for a while here. This is a pretty special show, and to be able to put on a show like this, just how much effort goes into it from the student's perspective, because this really is a student-wide effort.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of work goes in just from the very beginning, starting with bringing us all together for our first rehearsal. It's like everyone's like just hitting the ground running with like highlighting their scripts, doing a bunch of like character work just from the jump, all the way, like a couple months of work all the way until we close. It's really incredible.
Continuing with you, Caitlin, what character are you playing and what maybe drew you to audition or ultimately take the role of that character?
So I'm the student director and I'm also in the ensemble. And what drew me to audition in the first place is that it is my final show at WB, and that's just as hurtful as it is sweet. But I've student directed and added in 3 shows in a row at this point, including our MIFA production. And I think it's just always fun to do the 2 things you love the most at the same time, because I think the skills kind of build on each other. And so like being a good director makes you a good actor, and being a good actor can help you be a great director as well.
Ezra, I want to go to you too to get your connection to this show. What drew you into being interested in coming and playing in Bye Bye Birdie, and what's kept you interested now as you get closer to that opening day?
Oh, what's kept me interested? Like everything. It's all just fun. You like come to school every day and you get to sing and have fun and like dance and act, and it's just honestly just really fun. What drew me in the first place was, well, I think people like who do theater, this is my first year doing it, and like the first experience I had with anyone like talking to me about it was they said they'd seen like a video of me on Instagram singing, and they were like, "Oh, you did such a good job. You should do theater." And they were just really nice to me about that, and so I thought that I was like, well, these people seem really great, so I should try out.
It's not just fun to act in these plays or to see these plays, whether it's at West Bloomfield High School, another school, or on another level professionally or through community theater. What the goal of these plays, like any other media, is to learn something and see a different world through a different perspective. As you've auditioned, rehearsed, and now you get ready to perform Bye Bye Birdie, Ezra, what have you learned from your character, from the other characters, and from the story behind the stage play?
That's a good question. The story, it takes place in the 50s, and it brings you through this into this world of almost hysteria, right? Because people are so obsessed with this rock star Conrad Birdie, and so it is really like an upside down world where things, like an absurd world, things don't totally make sense. So that is an interesting aspect. You get to learn, like, you come to the show about what it was like to live in the 50s, and there are some connections to today. I mean, there still is like hysteria about things and pop music and movies and rock stars and things like that. So there's definitely a modern connection, and also a lot you can learn from going back in time.
And so much of the themes of Bye Bye Birdie surrounds celebrity and fame, and for all the good that comes from that, like Ezra being found out by the student directors and others involved in theater and saying, hey, you should join us in this production, and now being a big part of their team. Caitlin, there's also the downside of that you can kind of draw comparisons with to social media in our modern day. How has that maybe factored into the way you're directing your actors on the stage and their approaches to their characters?
I think it, like, with the hysteria aspect of it and the negatives of it, I like to always play it up. And so it seems just as bizarre as it is. And I think like as it comes down, we can always see that theme of being true to yourself, no matter who your icons are or whatever the case may be. I think that just concept of taking charge of your own life and figuring out who you are as a person, regardless of who you look up to, is very important.
Ezra, I want to go back to you because Caitlin's had such a wealth of experience as a student director, being part of the ensemble, being part of that theater program for so many years, and has been able to see the way that teamwork plays in to putting on a show, especially something like this that is so heavily character driven, but also is meant to engage the audience a bit too. From your perspective, how has teamwork played into getting your team ready to perform Bye Bye Birdie in just a couple of weeks?
Right. I would say teamwork is the most important thing. The thing you run into the most is like communication every day. You need to be able to communicate. I've learned when things are going well and like you want to keep doing something that way. And that's a good way to do that scene. Or, you know, if someone does a really good job with a song, you're like, that was awesome. You also need to be able to communicate when you're like, okay, this isn't working for me somehow. Like, I think maybe we could do it this way. And you need to be able to, you know, work with other people and get ideas from them and be able to take criticism yourself. So there's a lot of teamwork there's definitely a lot of teamwork that goes into every rehearsal.
Ezra Sherry and Caitlin Williams are with us on the Splash Live. Cast members and crew members from Bye Bye Birdie coming to West Bloomfield High School beginning on April 24th, running through April 26th. There is the flyer on your screen. You can see it a little bit left of center, that QR code. Pause the video, come back to it later on, scan that QR code. That's how you'll get tickets for the Friday and Saturday evening shows and that Sunday matinee as well. Caitlin, a couple more questions for both you and Ezra. I want to begin with you on this one because these are complicated stories for adults to comprehend and let alone perform. Then to go on to have students do this, learn something from the show, and still while they're developing and they're getting their own world perspectives. How does participating in something like Bye Bye Birdie or any theater production help you better understand the world that you're now going into as you wrap up high school and go into adult life?
I would say, wow, how does Bio Birdie help me prepare for the world? I think definitely the process of making it has taught me a lot. The process of kind of coming after school every day for a few hours, and also I think there's like a certain amount of persistence it takes because if you're not feeling like happy or something, this is a comedy, so you need to like the song says, put on a happy face. You need to be able to sort of change your attitude like that. That's something that's honestly a skill that's like been really valuable that I've learned through this process.
Caitlin, same question for you. What have you learned from this entire process, from the story that you're performing and that your actors are performing, that you'll be able to take on as you continue with your life and go into adulthood after high school this year?
I feel like from the production aspect aside, of course there's that work ethic and that drive that you're always putting in, but I do always like to take something from every show that I've ever done. And like I said before, it's just that concept of realizing that you really can just take your life into your own hands. And I feel like that's something that's really important because some people can feel like really stuck in a certain situation that they are like yearning to be outside of. And it's just the 1 second that you realize that actually I don't have to be stuck. I can be free. I can do this. I can do that. I think that's always really important, to never let yourself stay stuck just because it's comfortable.
All right, 30 seconds for each of you. I'm going to go to Ezra first. Ezra, give us one reason why you believe the community should come out and see Bye Bye Birdie in late April.
It's funny. We're going to be really good singing, and it's going to be awesome, like atmosphere and vibes. There's going to be really cool lighting and set design, and you're just going to have a great time.
Caitlin, you know all that stuff from behind the scenes too. From your perspective, why should people come see this show?
I think, well, yes, it's obviously great to look at, but I think it's the message that's just really important. It's never too late to take your life into your own hands. We see kids take their lives into their own hands. We see adults like Albert take their lives into their own hands. And I just want people to remember that it's never too late.
It's all good conversation starters, too, for modern themes that have a classic element to them that are seen through the perspective of Bye Bye Birdie. Ezra, Caitlin, thank you both so much, and congratulations on your upcoming show.
Thank you.